Mongoose Jake here to talk about a topic that has come up on my channel here recently in a couple of videos I've done. Namely, the comparison of Busby MagFed pistols, featuring in particular the model 1902. Now, not really sure if that's the official term for this pistol that came in the Arsenal pack, but that is my term for it. I'm going to lay claim to it, because I put it out there first. So, I'm going to call this the model 1902 forever and ever now. But comparing it to the Revolution. Now, I've had some people say in the comment section that this is the Revolution. It's a very, very close family member to it, but this is the Revolution itself. It is a name given to the Busby Air Warriors model, not to the Adventure Force model. It can be splitting hairs with some of their blasters, which have the same exact shell carried from the Busby line to the Adventure Force line, but in this case there are some differences, and I am going to go over them in this video, as well as comparing it to other current and recent MagFed pistols from Busby. Now, namely, there are three immediate differences that I can tell, and you'll be able to yourself if you pick them up within seconds. The priming bar on top, that is this right here, on both pistols it's different. This has a very neat angular design, and it has a black insert over a blue primary structure, and it is angled up. Now that helps to provide a little bit of traction and grip, and it also has little bars on it, and that helps to provide a little bit of grip when you are priming backwards, because of course when you're returning it there's very little resistance. Compare that to the very smooth and maybe a little more elegant design of the Revolution, not meaning that in a better or worse way, just it seems to be a sleeker design. That it has a couple of traction bars on the black portion over an orange structure, and it itself provides very nice, comfortable grip. It feels a little more natural than some of the edges of this priming bar. Now, I don't have any issue with this one myself, but it does have a few bits and pieces that stick out as actual corners. So if you have sensitive hands, it might bother you. I work with stone a lot, so I have fairly calloused hands, and it doesn't bother me one single bit. Especially on a stock blaster, because Busby use a light spring rate. Despite them having much better performance than Nerf spring-powered blasters, their spring rate is lower overall. They do their performance based on air volume, because they basically have what would amount to an almost same size plunger tube as Nerf's expanded plunger tube that you can buy for like the Recon Mark II and the Retaliator from Worker. But a stock, no complaints, but if you put, say, the higher spring rates like 9, 10, 12 kilogram, you might start to feel that dig in, whereas there is no sharp edges anywhere on the Revolution's priming. Now, another thing is the pistol grips themselves. This has a very contoured grip. It does have a nice larger bulge on the backside that hits your palm very nice. I've called this already one of the best grips that Busby's came up with, and basically this pistol overall has some of the best ergonomics of any mag-fed Springer that Busby's made. It's right up at the very tip top. Abraham's M16 from their Walking Dead line is one of the others, and I actually, myself, I really like the Zenith pistol. Its grip's not perfect, but it's really good. And this one's even better. Compare that to the non-contoured, but very chunky, really the only way I can describe the 1902's grip. This grip is very chunky, and it does have also a bulge to fit into your palm, with a very comfortable curve to fit the webbing of your thumb to index finger, and I actually find this to be very, very comfortable. Now it has a molding in the shell itself to be a faux safety, and that would be something that I might want to shave down depending on where your finger itself rests. Mine hits it a little bit, and also there is a bulge here in the shell. It doesn't serve any functional purpose, it's just molding for design. You might like it. My finger moves in the middle here, above the fake trigger and below this bulge, so I can live with it. But if you had exceptionally chunky fingers, you may hit this or that. Something to keep in mind, that has a couple little extra moldings in the shell on the 1902 that aren't present in the slimmer and sleeker shell of the Revolution. So keep in mind, these are not the same pistols repackaged. You know, these two blasters, this is not simply Busby version and then green Adventure Force version. No, they are different shells. They share the same internals and they function the same, but they are actually completely different shells. Very neat overall. Now, how does that compare to a couple of the other products that are on the market that are still currently sold? For instance, the Night Attack, which comes with a little light on top, as well as the Light Master. Now, unlike the Revolution and Model 1902 comparison, these are the same blaster. They are down to every detail. The only difference is the packaging and the color. You get a little extra detail here with a kind of a whoosh almost. It's like a triple whoosh. It's not flames. It's almost supposed to be, I guess, like wind or a light shining maybe. But you get that, and you get green. You know, a lot of green or a lot of blue. So it's like, take your pick. You can buy these individually at Walmart because, of course, it is an Adventure Force product, the Adventure Force Night Attack, for $10. So very good way. Has the same amount of power overall, same internals as the newer new releases. And the Light Master was available through Kmart and other places. I think now this might be coming to some other retailers now that Kmart's kind of being phased down a little bit, or a lot. But both of these are very good pistols. The word of warning is the grip. The grip is small. I mean, let's put that up against the grip of the Revolution. I'll keep that up there as I talk. The grip of the Light Master or Night Attack, again, identical pistols. Those are 1.5 inches at the widest point. Keep that in perspective. 1.5 inches at the widest point. The Revolution's grip is 1.5 inches at the narrowest, thinnest point. And that would be up here in the webbing of your palm. Right here, this is 1.5 inches. That's the narrowest point. The widest point down here is 1.5 inches. So in your hand, this grip feels very, very small. And while not uncomfortable, it does feel puny. And for me, it's a little short because I end up pushing my hand up into the trigger guard quite a bit. So something to keep in mind. That is the Light Master and the Night Attack. Available for $10 for one, or this was available as a 2-pack for about $22.99, and then I think they went on sale all the way down to about $10. And other retailers might get these in, but you can still get this at Walmart for $10 each. So very good deal. Just be ready for the grip to be small, and that's not something you can work around unless you're ready to modify the shell. Which takes us to the old guards of the Busby mag-fed pistols. You got the Champion, you've got the Reaper. I absolutely love the shell of the Reaper. I really, really want them to bring this back with an updated grip and updated colors. Let's just say I want them to keep the guard. Keep that guard, that's neat. Put the guard a little lower on this grip. That would look amazing with that style. That is something I want to see. Which I just got an idea actually from a comment that I was looking at earlier today on my channel. I eventually am going to put together a video on the blasters I would love to see from Busby. And I would love to see a return of the Reaper. That would be very, very neat. Just updated with new colors, a slightly better grip, which this one's not bad, but for me, personally, the distance here is a little short, and my hand ends up kind of feeling a little cramped there, and it does have some bulges around the back. But hey, I've modded them, I like them, I would love to see these come back again in a formal return. I know there's a recolor out there that I've been trying to get my hands on, but it's in the blue, black, and gray. I haven't got one yet. Another one I'd love to see make a return, and I think they need to do this, is the Champion. They need to bring it back. It was one of the better pistol grips of all of their blasters in the past. It actually was okay sized. Could be a little bit bigger, but it's not bad. And it had a fairly nice top prime. They could rework that a little bit. But what I would like to see is this brought back because this had good performance. This was basically the beginning of their really, really good performance. I would like to see this brought back, because this one was back all the way from 2014, so this has been 5 years ago. But I would like to see this brought back, enlarged a little bit, and with a standardized stock attachment point. I don't care what stock they use. Make a few different lengths available. Standardize their stock attachment point and put that thing on the back here. Because this, if they made a really nice long stock, or even one that hooks in and then telescopes, that would be fantastic to run, and then they would have a very, very viable competitor to take on. Also, like, they have the Tactical Storm, but a Champion would be really, really neat. A form factor, just a very simple looking blaster. Bring it back, and don't bring it back to compete with your Revolution, but this thing started it all. Let's see it brought back. That'd be neat. But as for now, as a standalone, not having to buy a package, the Revolution offers you a comfortable grip, comfortable priming bar, and good overall ergonomics. And another option would be, of course, the 1902 with its very chunky grip. Again, I can't stress that enough. I mean, that grip is chunky, and it's a very sturdy feeling pistol. When you go in to feel this thing, the plastic's thick, heavy. I mean, it actually has some weight to it, and then again, I still think that these cutouts would be really neat to do some LED work. But this is just kind of an overview and comparison of all of the mag-fed pistols from Busby. I have been meaning to do this because I think these two in particular have caught people's interest, and personally, if you can snag a Revolution, I do not see a reason not to. Even if you're not currently a Busby fan, this thing needs to be in your collection. It's under $10 and fantastic. Now again, I don't know if they're ever going to release this as an individual blaster. I really wish they would, but as long as they're selling the Night Attacks through the Adventure Force line for $10, I would be hard pressed to see them making a change and bringing this out, because this basically is a better shell than the Night Attack overall because of the grip. That's really it. Everything else about the Night Attack's pretty good. This would come out, I guess, if they ever decided to do away with the Night Attack, which, I mean, they could just throw the light on here. That would be fine by me. But hey, this Mongoose Jake was just an overall kind of comparison of the mag-fed pistols that are available both now and in the recent past from Busby. And I just wanted to do this kind of as a personal thing, and also because a few people had asked me questions regarding the differences between them. And to cut it short, they all perform basically the same. My Revolution is firing hot, but otherwise they all fire in the mid-80s or so. Yeah, that's typical standard for Busby Springers. Expect lower to mid-80s on performance. My Revolution that's shooting up into the 90s is going to, I think that's going to be proved to be an oddball. I mean, in a good way, but it's still, I think it's going to be an oddball, because I have been told by a couple people that theirs are firing in the middle 80s. I just got a really nice setup on that one from the factory. You know, good seal, good breech, yada yada yada. Manufacturing tolerances, just really good on mine, because this is the firing with the same internals and hitting around about the mid 80s. So just something to go over. Hopefully this is some information that's useful for you. And it's Mongoose Jake. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I do thank you for watching.